walking however long, funky sweats, probably hasn't even washed his butt, right? Comes into the Senate with these, the smell, and just he looks like a thug, a cognitive degenerate thug. That's what he looks like.
But speaking of idiotic Democrats, we're moving on to John Fetterman.
Oh, God.
So he was in the news this week. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said Monday that staff for the chamber's sergeant of arms at the Senate's official clothes police will no longer enforce a dress code on the Senate floor. The change comes after Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman has been unapologetically wearing shorts as he goes about his duties, voting from doorways so he doesn't get in trouble for his more casual attire. So they have changed the dress code. Again, Chuck Schumer says, and I quote, henceforth, senators are able to choose what they wear on the Senate floor. This is what he said. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm just waiting for the next month or so for the women to say, okay, well, if the men can wear what they want, then I'm going to come in with a bra and panties, or God forbid, naked.
Well, everyone can wear, all of them, men or women, they can wear whatever they want now.
So, I mean, I don't know. Where will the lines be drawn? Now, let me say this. I am for adults wearing whatever they want, right? But if you are on someone else's time and dime, then you really have to wear what the prescribed custom or uniform is, whatever. You do have to do that, right? But Fetterman, number one, I still think he has some cognitive disabilities there. I don't even think he should be in the Senate, number one. But he wears, what does he wear? The sweat?
Shorts. He wears shorts. He wears sneakers,
that he just
hoodies.
comes from running or maybe walking or whatever. Walking however long. Funky sweats, probably hasn't even washed his butt, right? Comes into the Senate with these, the smell, and just he looks like a thug, a cognitive degenerate thug. That's what he looks like. It really, to me, KJ, it goes to how debased we have gotten. Mm-hmm. We keep lowering the standards. Now we have to lower the standards because this jackass doesn't know how to put on at least a tie and a shirt and some pants, and all he can put on is. I don't understand it. I don't.
Speaking of lowering of standards, take a look at this. This is clip number 5 of him.
How things have operated since that deal was. A bipartisan deal was struck for certain top-line spending numbers for all of the funding bills that have to be passed to make the budget, keep the government running. The Senate has basically been delivering those and passing them by big 91-7 bipartisan majorities. The House today looks like it's falling apart. You've already got 17 no votes in that House Republican caucus saying we're not passing anything. What do you think's happening here?
Yeah, I truly, I was very proud of my colleagues, because they're really about governance. That's what it is. And on the other, the House, the whatever they call themselves, Team America or whatever they call themselves, I just like, bring your vote. Otherwise, they need to go hump a different leg.
You were you drove I think it's a Ford from Braddock.
This is the type of people they want in the Senate, and this is why he wants lax clothing. The standards have been lowered, and they've been lowered not only just for the clothing, but for the type of people that you have here. I mean, look at him. He doesn't even show up for work. He again, as I mentioned, so far in the Senate, he's missed 33.4% of the Senate votes.
Wow.
He is the chamber's second most absent member behind old crinkly Dianne Feinstein of California. She's missed 46.3%. Now, much of his absence has been due to his health issues. He had a 6-week stay at Walter Reed back in, I believe, February. So he got out of there in March. But still, after he got out of the hospital, he had missed again. He's still missing. So missed 13% of the votes from July to September.
Let me ask our listeners, particularly those if you don't agree with us. That's fine. But if you show up only 50% of the time at your job, would you still have a job? Why are we allowing these people who we pay? Remember, we pay the senators and the congressmen, they make a pretty decent salary. A lot of them, if not all of them, make more than many of you out there in our audience a year, right? So that's our taxpayer money paying for him to go hump somebody's damn leg. Maybe that's why he's wearing the shorts. It makes it an easy hump. I don't know.
Well, that's what he said. He said that he doesn't even like being in the Senate. He said this. He said that it takes time from him being at home. He doesn't like to stay cooped up in the building. I mean, and again, and we see this here. I'm on an administrative body here in Baltimore City. These types of jobs, the Senate, Congress, they're not for everyone. This man has always been an activist. Most of his career, he's been a liberal leftist activist. The Senate may not be for him. It may not be his type of job. It just may not.
Yeah, it may not be, but that doesn't matter to the leftists.
No, right,
because
it doesn't.
What matters is they have the power and the control, and they have access to, regulate our lives, right? Regulate our lives for the things that they wouldn't apply to themselves. So it's what's good for thee is not good for me. So these people are tit suckers. They are sucking at the government tit. Our money is paying for them. I don't have extra money to be paying someone $150,000 or more salary, particularly for showing up to hump somebody else's leg. No, it's unacceptable. That's the Senate. That is the Congress. These are the people's houses. They're really our houses, and we are allowing him and whomever else to show up any damn kind of way. Some of you, many of us, don't like people to come in our houses with their shoes on, right? But no, he can come in humping legs with shorts on and a hoodie.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I mean, but people have voted for him. They voted for him in Pennsylvania. I believe Pennsylvania had another election last night. It was Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. They were two Trump-backed Republicans, and they both lost. So, and again, we saw what happened in Pennsylvania with him. Trump's pick, Oz, lost against him. And we're seeing this all over the country. So, I mean, they voted for this man, and he obviously doesn't want to work, and he doesn't want to be there. And they continue, and they voted for him. So it's on them.
This is something we need to keep pressing home, particularly in this election season. Voting, how you vote and who you vote for makes a hell of a difference.
It does.
And like you always say, you wish we had voting like regulations where people only can vote if they're educated. Maybe we need that. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We certainly do. I mean, in Pennsylvania, they just passed. Again, I mentioned they had a special election last night,
right?
And then the governor just passed some. I don't know if it was an executive order or if it was a law, but they just passed a law where everyone who signs up for a driver's license will automatically get voting.
Oh, they're trying to get that here too in Maryland.
Yeah, so
with the automatic,
this is where we're going.
So when they automatically sign you up, they're only going to automatically sign you up to one party, the party that the government chooses for you to be in, which is most likely a Democrat. And then you have to go back, and if you get your card and it says whatever Democrat, and no, I want to be Republican, you have to go and get all the work done to change it to Republican. I mean, really? Are we giving up that much of our power? I know the scamdemic was a big pilot test, but come on, Americans. Pennsylvanians, you should be ashamed of yourself. You put this jackass in office, and what he wants to do is just hump legs with shorts on.
Yeah, I mean, the scamdemic was probably the worst thing that could have ever happened. It has ushered in so much corruption, and within our voting system, within our medical system, the way that this whole thing has run is awful, and we have it, and it's here to stay. We used to have election day. Now we have election week and election month. Now they're doing automatic registration when you get your driver's license. It's corrupt.
There's always been corruption, but since the scamdemic, our institutions have literally they're rolling downhill. They're not on the precipice anymore. They are literally rolling downhill. Now, how long that hill is, I don't know, but we have a hell of a lot to do to push that ball back up that hill. We need to get busy. Vote how it matters. It matters how you vote. Please vote not just based on, oh, he looks good or he sounds good, or maybe because he's not a Democrat or Republican. Find out what the issues are. Find out how they will affect not just your pocket, but your community and certainly the country at large, your state. Stop voting based on superficiality. It gets us not just nowhere, it gets us undergirded or whatever you want to call it. We are further behind the 8 ball.
I'll go a step further. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Don't vote Democrat. It was the Democrat Party who has ushered in all of these regulations and corruption. It have messed up the voting system. Again, we went from voting day to voting month to week to voting month. They have brought in all of this corruption. And I honestly will tell you not to vote for them. They're power hungry. You know, not only have they corrupted the voting system, but now they're trying to bring in all of these illegal immigrants to just take over the country. So we won't have a country anymore. Nope. They have lowered the standards so low that they fail to enforce law and order, and then they're lowering these standards where there's nothing to back.
I mean, when is enough enough?
Yeah.
When is enough?
There's no standard from the dress code to the immigration code. To the borders. There is no standard at all.
When is enough enough? I mean, when is enough enough? Is it going to take us literally losing all our rights, losing our family members, our children, our communities? What is it going to take? And then we're going to be in the ration line for the government, these elites that we pay for, telling us what we can eat, damn it, if we can even have a gas stove or refrigerator, right? What kind of cars we can drive. This is what they're going to tell us. This is what you all want. You call yourself an American? Really? You call yourself a free person made in the image of God?
But
really?
But Republicans are the fascists.
Yeah.